Hello, welcome back to another show. This is your guy Obi as usual, and today we are going to talk about fans' expectations of game week number 5. As you all know, this weekend we don't have any Premiership games going on because we are having international break, and so what that means is that teams that are representing their countries have traveled to international duty, but we are expecting them next weekend. So our expectations are still our expectations, and we are going to hold them close until next weekend. Talking about Manchester United, of course, you know Manchester United on deadline day they made two major signings in the form of Alex Telles from Porto and Edison Cavani, free agent from PSG. And so the expectations were one, to see whether Edison Cavani was going to replace Anthony Martial up front, or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was going to alter the formation a little bit to, of course, accommodate the two of them up front. Another question was about Alex Telles. Was he going to replace Luke Shaw at the left back position? And again, another question is how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to respond to last weekend's performance of 6-2 defeat to Tottenham FC. And so those expectations next weekend is going to answer them. Number 2, Liverpool. 7-2 loss last weekend against Aston Villa. Expectations, of course, are how Jurgen Klopp is going to respond to that kind of performance. Again, another expectation is whether Thiago Alcantara is going to start games now, because as you all know, he was diagnosed of COVID-19. I don't know whether he has recovered in good time to, of course, continue helping Liverpool going forward. So that's another thing. Maybe in week number 5, which is next weekend, is going to answer fans. Another question is about Arsenal. Of course, Arsenal has been grinding games for the past 2 games. Arsenal has won. It is hit and run, and so it has worked in their favor. But again, fans are really expecting to see how Arteta is going to address that. Again, another thing Arsenal fans are going to look at is this possibility of maybe integrating the new signing, of course, in the name of Thomas Partey into the team. How is Arteta going to, of course, integrate him to first team football there at Arsenal? And another thing is about Aubameyang. When is he gonna start scoring goals? Because everybody touted Aubameyang to be the leading goal scorer this season, but he has not scored any so far. Of course, you can argue that he has been performing well, assisting the team to win, but his major job is to score goals. You know, he signed a very, very lucrative deal there at Arsenal, which sometimes for me is becoming quite alarming, because mostly when we see players signing such a huge deals in their clubs, they kind of now sit and relax. But I hope this is not the case with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Number 5, Tottenham. After their good performance last weekend against Manchester United, 6-2. Yeah, it cannot it cannot be forgotten that fast. And so Tottenham fans were expecting to see whether Jose Mourinho and his team were to continue with that kind of form going forward. Again, another thing was about Bale, how Tottenham are gonna use Gareth Bale, because he's I think now he's ready to start games, plus Sergio Reguilon. Yeah, so those are some of the questions that Tottenham fans would like the English Premier League game week number 5 to answer. Everton, are they gonna continue? Because they're leading now in the table, English Premier League table, 12 points out of 12. And then another thing is whether Calvert-Lewin is gonna continue with his fine form. Of course, he scored yesterday in his international duty they were playing against Wales. He scored another goal. So this is quite interesting because England, they have a lot of strikers right now, and so with Everton, I think this is a bonus to them because having a striker that is able to score for a club and a country is something that is really encouraging. What about Chelsea? Of course, they won yesterday. No, not yesterday. They won last weekend at 4-0, and so the expectation is whether they will continue with this kind of form going forward. Another thing is whether the new signings, especially Timo Werner, is able to start also scoring goals. Another thing is whether Lampard is gonna go with Arrizabalaga, because the news came in yesterday that Mendy has got an injury during his international break with Senegal. So that's one thing that international break sometimes does. That's why most of the clubs are a bit hesitant. But again, that's all about football. So going forward, I don't know what Lampard is going to do, whether he's going to trust Arrizabalaga to start games, or is he going to go back to Caballero as number one. So what about Liverpool? They lost in their last game, heavy beating, 7-2 against Aston Villa. Liverpool fans will be looking at that kind of performance and saying maybe it was just a one-off, of course, which happens in football. We have seen it happening to clubs. It has happened to Manchester City. It has happened to Arsenal back then. I don't know which season is that, when they were beaten 8-2. Of course, the beating coming from Manchester United. And so, how will Liverpool respond? Okay, how will Liverpool respond? Another team is Manchester City. Of course, they haven't had a nice run of games recently, and so what that means is Manchester City fans will be looking at to see whether manager Pep Guardiola what he's gonna do to, of course, rectify that. Again, of course, there are a lot of new signings at Manchester City. Expectations are whether Pep is going to integrate those players early enough so that they can understand each other. They can, of course, form cohesion between themselves. Because again, having all those players in one team but without cohesion is not going to work for the club. And so those are some of the expectations. I don't know whether you have any. If you have any, of course, you can leave them in the comment section below. And that is about my time. I'll see you in another one. Thank you for your time.